Now, you've been doing some other interesting things using video with young people
Yep.
out on the Waianae Coast, right?
Right. I get a little exhausted thinking about it, but got a good partner named Angela Zangerly, and we started a kids television show. It kind of got started by doing these shows here, and we thought we could maybe set up a studio in a garage in Waianae that might in some way mimic what happens in these more enriched studios. And it actually went one step before, which was that we were kind of hired or contracted to work with kids with mental health needs, kids who were suicidal or interacting in ways that were getting them involved with the law. And we thought we might help them make little videos that they could share at their IEP meetings or at with their probation officers or whatever, where the kid might have a voice and say something using video that they wouldn't say if they just came to the meeting and slouched and listened to adults talk about how bad they are. So we started doing that, and we did some cool ones, most of which we cannot air because of confidentiality. These are kids who are really involved with a lot of the mental health world, which means you can't really name names. But then I met this mom, Angela Zangerly, and she has a wonderful daughter whom we'll meet on a little video, who was hit by a bus some years ago and suffered some serious traumatic brain injury. And her name is Odie, and she is public. She joined our TV crew, and she's helped us do all kinds of videos, and we produced one interviewing Dr. Radke in the garage, and I thought maybe it would be fun to meet Dr. Radke being interviewed by Odie and another young man named Tim, who also has learned a lot and benefited a lot from our program.
Now, we know Dr. Radke very well, but perhaps our viewers don't know him.
Who is he?
He is a wonderful man who's a professor of oceanography here at the University of Hawaii, and he happens to have quadriplegia. So he's figured out how to make technology work for him in all sorts of ways. He can continue to be active and vital in his profession, teaching and researching. And he's also very active in the community with children who have disabilities.
Yeah, and we'll learn more about that in a later program.
Yeah.
We actually had a great video of Dr. Radke I thought we would air, and then I realized that Leah she did a great job interviewing. Everything you're about to see was, the kids do the camera work, the kids do the mixing. So if it looks real funky, it is funky. It was filmed in a garage by kids doing everything. Want to see it?
Yeah.
All right, let's try it. One funky video. Irene Zane, this is our competition to you.
Welcome back to the Viewfinder from Makoa Taipahu. I'm Leah Burgess, and here today we have Dr. Radke and Tim Martinez. What is your profession?
I'm a fisheries oceanographer at the University of Hawaii.
Was this your goal throughout your life?
Well, I grew up on a small farm in Indiana, and when I was first growing up, I actually wasn't quite sure. And I'd gone fishing one day, caught a fat catfish, and it always intrigued me how a fish could live in the water while we're up in the air. And I guess since then I became interested in it, and I followed it through going to college or graduate school, and I'm fortunate that I was able to realize my dream.
What would you like to see be accomplished by the new millennium?
Well, the new millennium is quickly approaching us. One of the things, I guess, that I would like to see accomplished is that persons with disabilities worldwide would have the ability to be treated as equals. Right now, we're sort of trying to catch up, and I think technology can do that. In 2 years, it's possible.
You brought your dog with you, and how is he helpful to you? What is his name or her name?
Okay. Well, I won't tell you her name, and the reason I do that is because she's a specially trained service dog, and I want her to listen to my commands. Since I can't pull on her too much, one second, Lale. Okay, if I have everyone else and I've just said her name over the thing, so we're okay. But I ask you not to call her name because then she'll listen to you and not me. She's a service dog. She's 3.5 years old. Her specialty is actually buttons and switches. She turns lights off and on. She can hit the elevator buttons. She can reset my computer. She does all the other things that dogs do, such as sit and lie down, everything else, but she also can retrieve items and put them on my lap. And she stays with me 24 hours a day. She sleeps in our bedroom. She sleeps on the floor. My wife won't let her sleep in the bed with us. But, and I know that they had a barking sound. Well, when they train service dogs, she's trained not to bark. So the chances of hearing her bark are very slim. And she'll only bark if I give her the command. And so people around me know that if they ever hear the dog barking, something's wrong, better come check me out. But she does a lot of things that way. And she's a great companion. Thanks.
And that's all the questions we can have. I'm sure you have a lot, but we have to go. So thank you, Mr. Dr. Radke, for coming with your dog, and Tim for being my co-assistant. Thank you and bye.
Welcome back to Viewfinder, through Viewfinder. From Makua to Waipahu. I'm here with Dr. Radke and Leah. And Leah has a presentation for us today. And I'm proud to be from Waianae. So here's to Leah.
In the ocean, there is dumping of 14 billion labs of garbage per year. The U.S. could be responsible for 1/3 of ocean pollution. And the next slide is plastics. Plastics play a big role in the cause of pollution. These are helpful for human beings, but to ocean life, it could be a floating minefield. And I would like Jacob to throw his fresh rubbish into our little world right there. Could you throw your rubbish? Now there we see no problem with only one rubbish. Now could I get everybody else to throw their rubbish in? Now there is a world of rubbishes. That's what our ocean will look like if we don't take a stand and clean up the pollution. Something. Now we gotta respect our ocean by not collecting coral and shells for souvenirs, diving carefully, look to using alternative materials, dispose of trash properly. Our role is recycle, educate others, get involved, do not litter, understand and respect underwater life. Any questions?
How does collecting shells and like coral harm the ocean?
It takes away part of the ocean. It doesn't leave place for fish to live. So big fishes can eat them if there's not enough coral.
Like, what do you think about people walking over reef and stuff? Is it harmful or?
If they step on the coral?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it damages the ocean and it messes up the coral.
You know how you saying that plastic isn't that biodegradable? it takes it longer to decompose. What do you think is another alternate that we can use instead of plastic? I mean, like styrofoam or paper or...
Styrofoam's plastic. What do you think, Leia?
In like New York or something, Florida, there, you know, for the cans, those 6 things for the cans, they're making biodegradable. How do you say that? I don't know. Yeah, that word. Yeah, for the plastics, so when they get thrown away, turtles don't get tangled up in them. And they disintegrate.
For other things, for packing, I mean, all you got to do is think about it. I mean, I've received things in my lab that have been packed in popcorn. They actually make other packing material out of starch. I mean, you could eat it, but it has no taste to it. But I mean, these are things that'll break down real quickly. And so there are other alternatives. So when you ship things to your grandmother or your aunt or anybody on the mainland, just pack them in popcorn. Don't put the butter on it first, though.
Well, thank you very much. And again, this is Through the Viewfinder, signing off. Leah and Dr. Radke, and me, Timothy Martinez.
Wow. You know, to see Leah up there with Professor Radke, you know, can the general public see these shows?
We're on every, I believe it's every Monday and Wednesday.
On Alelo.
We've got consistent airtime. We're producing one new show every month, and then they air it every week.
Wow.
And we're trying to deal with community issues, disability issues, and we've tried to model with a crew of kids, a heterogeneous group of young people.
You know, Peter, this is, in a sense, futures planning.
There's a lot in common, yes.
Yeah,
I was
you know,
thinking that.
Jim told me that Leah wants to be an oceanographer.
Really? There you go. So, and in other ways too, I think what you're doing is you're producing positive images, you're giving children and other young people positive experiences around the use of video, whether they're in the picture or behind the camera.
We have to move to our next segment now. Thank you
Okay.
very much for being with us, Peter. I really appreciate
right.
it.
Well,
Thanks.
It was
It's been
really
fun.
nice to have you.
Thanks.
Good to be